Hey you guys, this is Rafael from Relics.com. Greetings from Tennessee. I hope you're all healthy. I hope you're having a good day. Today we're going to have a little fun because I'm a little punch drunk and it's been one of those kind of mornings where I just need to relax and have a good laugh. So we're going to look at a Civil War cartridge box, but one with a twist. In the words of a James Brown song I heard a little bit ago, it's a man's world, but it wouldn't be nothing without a woman. Okay, I know that embarrassed my kids. You're welcome. Dad loves you. This box was made by Baker and McKinney in New York City. And when you hear that, you automatically think of men as owning the business. Well, this one's not the case. There was an amazing young lady named Laura Baker, and she married a fellow named John A. Baker. And they went into business in the 1840s as making saddle and leather equipment. They had contracts with the government at the early days of the Civil War to make those cartridge boxes and cap boxes. But he died in June of 1862. So, back then, it wasn't a woman's world at all, and I'm sure they had trouble getting contracts renewed. So there was a fellow that worked there, but named James McKenney at the Baker firm. So James McKenney steps in and becomes her partner in the business. And they went into business, and you start seeing things marked Baker and McKenney in February of 1864. This one, as you can see, has that marking on the inner flap. They stay as partners up until about 1871, but it's one of the few pieces that you will see a marking from a lady owner of the company during the Civil War. And I think that's kind of cool because it's just a neat little side note. They made a contract for the government in September 17th, 1864 for 10,000 sets of infantry accoutrements. And when you hear that, it's cartridge box and sling, percussion cap box, and this is for the cartridges. This is what actually held the soldier's cartridges, and it went across his shoulder. This is the sling that goes across the guy's shoulder. And usually this one was probably for a state contract because it doesn't have the eagle breastplate. And the eagle breastplate, like we've talked about a couple times before, are the eagle plate like that usually go right there. And they were referred to by the Confederates as a Yankee bullseye because that's what you aim for when you were shooting, because they had this big target right in the middle of their chest. The box itself is made of leather. It has the U.S. plate on the outside of it, like you see here. That served two purposes. One, it was very ornamental and pretty. And two, it was weighted by the lead. It's a stamped brass piece of brass, and it's filled in the back with lead, and that helped keep the lid closed. On the bottom of the box, it had a brass finial, which is just a little brass knob that the closure tab went over and kept it closed. These were designed so you could wear it with a shoulder belt or you could put it on the waist belt. And that's why on the back of it, you see like this, it has both setups. When you open up that box, you see on the inside, there's an implement. The small pouch is for implements. You carry your gun tool, just whatever you needed inside there. So that's there. It always helps that it has that. On the innermost compartment, they had what is known as a tin, a TIN. And they actually had two of them on this model. And they were where the actual cartridges went. You flipped it up, and that's where he would grab his cartridges out of when he was ready for some action. The boxes themselves, without the shoulder sling, but with a nice U.S. box plate, will usually run you in the $300 to $500 range, $600 if it's a really pretty one. These prices have come down a little bit in the last 10 years. They got pretty high at one time. Now they backed off a little bit. It's a great time to collect them, in my opinion. The ones with the sling are a lot tougher to find because, as you can imagine, they get torn, they get thrown away, and when they were up in the attic and the kids got to play with them decades later, that's one of the first things that would break. So when you find it, it increases the value a lot. One with a nice sling, eagle breastplate, US box plate, everything there is going to run you around $1,000, maybe $1,200 these days. They're a great thing to collect because you can imagine there's a lot of different makers. You're arming a 3 million man army. You've got a lot of small companies making pieces to go into military service. This one's a nice one. It's on ShilohRelics.com. You can go on there and check it out. You can buy it today and make both of us happy. I hope that you guys have a wonderful evening. I hope you remember, it might be a man's world, but you need those women in there because they're special and wonderful, and I love them all. I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. I hope you remember that you are loved. I hope that you remember to be kind, and kindness is the greatest gift of all. And I'll catch you next time. Have a good evening.